Lesson 60 today is all about circles. And when we work with circles, we've got to be comfortable with using our compass. Now we've got a compass tool on our toolbar over here. And our compass, of course, looks like this. You may have a compass that looks like this. You may have a plastic one or a metal one. And there's other types of compasses as well. Now we've got to practice using these. What we do is we hold our pivot point still, and then we rotate our pencil around in order to make a perfect circle with our compass. We do need to practice that in order to get very good at it. Now, let's close out our compass. We've got a circle here. When we talk about circles, there's some different measurements that we need to be comfortable with. The first measurement is the distance around the outside of the circle. It's kind of like the perimeter of the circle, but perimeter is for polygon. So the distance around the outside in red, that's called the circumference. And we can always find the circumference of a circle by saying the diameter of the circle times pi. And we've got our symbol for pi, 3.1415, and so on. Okay, or we could call it 22/7. So we know pi, our decimal value is 3.14 approximately, and our fraction value is 22/7. We'll use both of those values at different times to help us calculate the circumference of circles. Now, there's other parts of circles we need to know about as well. If we take a horizontal line here, and we'll make the horizontal line here in blue, go all the way across the circle, right through the center, and we can finish that line off so it goes to the edge. Okay, we're going to erase that one because that didn't go all the way to the edge. Let's make it go there. That's better. This one is called, in blue, the diameter. And we know the diameter of a circle is all the way across the circle through the center. So blue, that's for diameter. If you've got colored pencils, use them for this lesson. It will help you remember what these are. If you don't have colored pencils, you could say diameter, and you could draw an arrow to the picture you have here. The other thing that we need to know is our distance from the center to the outside edge. We've got a diagonal tool here, and we can go from the center to the outside edge. Well, that's blue again. Let's go ahead and delete that, and we'll use a different color. Let's use orange. Center to the outside edge. Well, the center to the outside edge in orange, that's called our radius. And the radius will always be half of the diameter. So those are the things we need to know as we look at different circles. Now, when we talk about circles, we can find the circumference of the circle, the distance around the outside edge, by saying the diameter times pi. We can also find the area of a circle. Now, area of a circle, we use light blue. The area of a circle, that tells us how many square units could fit inside of a circle. Now this isn't like a square or a rectangle where they'll fit perfectly. Sometimes we'll have a square unit that might fall like this. Okay, and we'd only have part of this square within inside our circle. In order to figure out how many units will fit inside of this, we say area of a circle is going to be equal to pi times the radius squared. Okay, and we always have to use the radius, the distance from the outside to the center, and square it, multiply it times pi. That's either 3.14 or 22/7 in order to find out how many square units there are within a circle. These are the two key formulas we need. We need the area of the circle formula, and we need the circumference formula. Please take a moment to pause this page if you haven't gotten this information into your notes yet. Okay. We've got a circle, and the radius of that circle is 5 centimeters. We want to know what's the circumference of that circle. So if we were to draw out a circle, we're going to go ahead and use our compass. We've got a circle, it's a small one. We can close our compass, and we're going to say the radius, distance from the center to the outside edge, is 5 centimeters. What is the circumference? Well, circumference, C, is equal to diameter times pi. So C is going to be equal to 10 times 3.14. Because we've got to double our radius. Our radius was 5. We've got to double it to get all the way across. Double 5 is 10. We know when we multiply by 10 it becomes bigger, and we just have to move the decimal point 1 to the right. So the circumference is going to be equal to 31.4 centimeters. And that would tell us the distance around the outside of our circle if we looked at it like this. We've got the answer. We can go ahead and box it and move on to our next question. The next question is, what is the area of the circle? So how many square units could we fit within here? Now, we know that area of a circle, A, is going to be equal to pi times the radius squared, or pi r squared. So, we're going to say A is equal to 3.14 times 5 squared, because it's the radius squared, and we know the radius is 5 centimeters. So 5 squared, that's 25, because 5 squared is 5 times 5. We're going to multiply 25 times 3.14. Let's go ahead and look at that math on the side. Well, if we get 5 times 4, that's 20. We'll carry our 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more is 7. 5 times 3 is 15. We've got 0 as a placeholder. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 3 is 6. We can now find what these will add up to. We've got 0 in our 1s. We've got a 5 in our 10s. 8 plus 7 is 15, so we'll carry our 1. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 2 more is 8. And 1 plus 6 is 7. So we get 7,850. But wait, we need to remember to move that decimal. We've got to move it out twice to get a whole number. So we've got to bring it in twice in order to balance it out. So we've got our answer now. Our answer now must be 78.5. So the area is equal to 78.5. It's area, so we need square units. And in this we're talking about centimeters. So we have centimeters to the second power. And we're all done. We can go ahead and box our answer and move on to the next question. We'll practice this more with our lesson practice on page 193. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you during our next class.